Assalamu alaikum, dear students of class 6th. Okay, this is subject science. Today, let's talk about another chapter, chapter number 3 of your textbook, fiber to fabric. Let's try to understand what is fiber and what is fabric and how we obtain fiber and how is that fiber converted into fabric. Okay, let's try to understand that. Okay, so the first thing about this chapter is we need to know what are the various types of fabric that we use. Okay, fabric, in other words, that the clothes that we put on, right? Okay, for that you need to go to the tailor's shop and pick the fabric that was left there. Okay, so in order to find the various kinds of fabric that we use to cover our body, so you have to make a visit to tailor's shop. You might have learned various names of the fabrics that we put on, like cotton, silk, polyester, etc., etc., nylon, etc., right? Okay, so this you can know by visiting a tailor shop and collecting the various fabrics, okay, that are left there, and you can ask a tailor what different fabrics he uh, sieve using his sieving machine, right? Okay, now the second activity is that we need to perform is what you have to do. You have to obtain a piece of fabric, okay, and then you have to pull threads from the fabric, just as it is shown here. Okay, so that means when you pull the threads from this fabric, okay, so you will get the number of threads. Okay, you will come to know that piece of fabric, or we can say the fabric that we put on our body, is made up of thin threads, right? Okay, so these threads are actually these are called as, okay, technically these are called as yarns, yarn. So that means after pulling out the threads from the fabric that you obtained previously from a tailor shop, okay, you will get the number of plenty of threads, and these threads are called as yarn. Okay, if you twist these yarns, okay, so you will get the thin strands. You will get the thin strands. Okay, you will come to know that yarn is made up of thin strands, and these thin strands are nothing but fibers. Okay, so that means we can conclude that fibers are twisted to make yarns. Okay, and then yarns are intertwined. They are then intertwined with one another to make the fabric that we put on to cover our body in different seasons, right? So fabrics, that means the clothes, are made up of yarns, and yarns are further made up of fibers. So you must note that the fabrics, the clothes, the different types of clothes that we put on our body to cover it, okay, from different seasons, to protect it different seasons, to protect it from sunlight, okay, to protect it from the cold during winters. Okay, so that fabric is made up of yarns. Okay, okay, and further these yarns are made up of uh, these thin strands, what are known as fibers. Okay, okay, so these thin strands of threads are nothing but fibers. So that means our fabrics are ultimately made up of fibers, okay, which are first twisted to make them the long threads, what are called as yarns. Then yarns are intertwined to make fabrics. Fine. Now the question arises: where does this fiber come from? Where do these fibers come from? What are the sources of different kinds of fibers? Okay, so the first source of fiber, okay, is plant. From plants we get cotton and jute. Okay, then the fibers of cotton and jute are then intertwined to make fabrics, cotton fabrics, jute fabrics. And then another source is animals. Okay, the fibers, some fibers, wool fibers are obtained from sheep, etc., and silk from silkworm. Okay, then another source is, okay, some fabrics are made synthetically. Some fibers are made, mm, by human beings itself. Okay, they do not have any natural source, and those are called as synthetic fibers, like polyester, nylon is there, acrylic is there. Okay, these are synthetic fibers. They are made by various chemical methods, by doing various chemical reactions. Okay, and ultimately we get synthetic fibers. Synthetic fibers or man-made fibers, right? Now let's talk about these some of the plant fibers in some detail, right? Okay, so cotton. Okay, cotton fibers, they are used as wicks for oil lamps. Okay, right. Cotton is also used for filling mattresses, quilts, or pillows. The quilts, mattress that we use to sleep on, they are filled with cotton wool, right? Okay, it is cotton is grown in the fields. Cotton plants are usually grown at places having black soil. Okay, remember that cotton is best cultivated in black soil and warm climate, right? Okay, then the fruits of cotton, the balls, cotton balls, those are called as typically called as cotton balls. They are about the size of lemon. Okay, after maturing, after they become mature, these balls burst open, and the seeds covered with cotton fibers can be seen. Okay, have you ever seen a cotton field? Okay, that is ready for picking. It looks like a field covered with snow. Okay, these balls, cotton balls, is usually picked by hand. They are hand picked. Okay, fibers are then separated from the seeds by combing. Okay, this process called as ginning of cotton. So that means you need to note that cotton's cotton is obtained from the cotton plants. Okay, when cotton they look like the small balls of the size of a lemon on the top of the plants. Okay, so when they mature, they burst open. Okay, they burst open, these fibers burst open, and these then cotton balls are hand picked. Okay, then these cotton balls are processed. The seeds in the fibers, okay, they are separated by the process what is called as ginning. Okay, so traditionally it is done by hands. Okay, but machines are also used for the process of ginning. Okay, then another type of fiber that we obtain from plants is jute. Okay, jute is obtained from stem, the jute plant. So it is a plant, jute plants, from which we get jute. Okay, actually from their stems we get jute. It is cultivated during rainy seasons. Okay, grown in West Bengal, Bihar, and Assam. Harvested when it is at the flowering stage. Okay, when the jute plant is at the flowering stage, okay, they are cut down, and from their stems jute fibers are obtained. The stems of harvested plants are immersed in water for few days. Okay, first when we cut these plants down, they are then immersed in the jute plant, so that the fibers, they absorb water, and they are then easily extracted from the stems. The stems rot and fibers are separated by hand. Okay, what happens after immersing them in the water? The stems, they rot, they disintegrate, they decompose, and the fibers then are separated by hand easily. To make fabric, all these fibers are first converted into yarns. Okay, so whatever fibers are there, they are first twisted to make them into yarns. Then yarns are then converted into the fabrics, right? Okay, this finishes our today's topic. Inshallah, we'll try to explain some more interesting things about these fibers. Okay, so we have to also talk about those fibers that we obtain from the animals, like wool and silk. Okay, so that we keep for tomorrow, inshallah. So till then, Khuda Hafiz. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.